Hello, welcome to another exciting time to talk about business. It is Business 360 and my name is Blyden Uken. In Business 360 today, we'll look at some of the biggest stories in the world of business, or x-ray the fine details and how the impact of the crisis between Israel and the Gaza Strip is affecting the market. Let's begin from the electric car maker Tesla. Well, electric car maker Tesla has a Chinese rival in its rearview mirror. A chase in Build Your Dreams, BYD, and jumped this week after it said it expected third quarter profits to more than double compared with last year. BYD is now ahead of Tesla in quarterly production and second to the US car maker in global sales. Its success is also a sign of just how much China's auto industry is growing, and China overtook Japan this year to become the world's biggest exporter. It's a bright spot in a sluggish Chinese economy that is reeling from a severe poverty crisis and record unemployment. Still talking about China. Chinese President Xi Jinping opened the Belt and Road Forum in Beijing on Wednesday with a message that China can only do well when the world is doing well. China is celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, which has extended Chinese economic and geopolitical influence across the group. In his opening speech, Xi promised to extend access to China's market for international firms and for new financing exceeding $100 billion for other developing economies. Still on the foreign scene. In remarks from Tel Aviv, President Joe Biden vows the U.S. will not repeat the world's inaction after Holocaust, insisting we will not stand by and do nothing again as Israel responds to the recent attack by Hamas. Our businesses have been cut short within the region, and there is a rising need for humanitarian aid for the people of Palestine. Let's find out more.
To Israel with a single message. You're not alone. You are not alone. As long as the United States stands, and we will stand forever, we'll not let you ever be alone. Hamas committed atrocities that recall the worst ravages of ISIS, unleashing pure, unadulterated evil upon the world. There's no rationalizing it, no excusing it, period. The brutality we saw would have cut deep anywhere in the world, but it cuts deeper here in Israel. October 7th, which was a sacred Jewish holiday, became the deadliest day for the Jewish people since the Holocaust. The world watched then, it knew, and the world did nothing. We will not stand by and do nothing again. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Since this terrorist attack took place, we've seen it described as Israel's 9/11. But for a nation the size of Israel, it was like 15 9/11s. You can't look at what has happened here to your mothers, your fathers, your grandparents, sons, daughters, children, even babies, and not scream out for justice. Justice must be done. But I caution this while you...
Meanwhile, the U.S. President Joe Biden says an explosion at the Gaza Strip hospital appears to have been caused by the other team, not Israel. Biden said his assessment was based on information he's seen. He did not go into the details. Let's hear more from the president.
Had an outrage by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you. Terrorist group Hamas has slaughtered, as has been pointed out, over 1,300 people. And it is not hyperbole to suggest slaughtered. And including 31 Americans as part of that. And they've taken scores of people hostage including children. You said, imagine what those children hiding from Hamas were thinking. It's beyond my comprehension to be able to imagine what they're thinking.
Mr. President, for the people of Israel, there's only one thing better than having a true friend like you standing with Israel, and that is having you standing in Israel. Your visit here is the first visit of an American president in Israel at a time of war. It is deeply, deeply moving.
In Africa, the contentious $4 billion Uganda-Tanzania crude oil pipeline has cleared a major obstacle that had delayed a final investment decision, according to the Standard Bank Group Limited. Well, Standard Bank's decision to invest up to $100 million hinges on an agreement between project developer Total Energies SE and China's CNOOC Limited. The 1,443-kilometer, or equivalent of 873-mile pipeline should start transporting oil in 2025 and ferry 246,000 barrels daily at its peak. And now let's talk about Nigerian stories. The giant of Africa, Nigeria, is quickly establishing itself as a major economic force on the international scene. Nigeria is emerging as a significant economic force on the global stage. With a current GDP of $477 billion, Nigeria is Africa's largest economy and is poised for rapid growth. A report by Goldman Sachs forecast that by 2075, Nigeria is said to become one of the top economies globally. On Wednesday, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu presided over the groundbreaking ceremony for the 100 million Lagos Film City. While Lagos State begins construction of the Film City for film production and related services, a public-private partnership model to generate job opportunities and stimulate economic growth. The collaboration with industry leaders like Ebony Live Academy and Delyok to support the project. So talking about Nigeria. The People's Republic of China has committed 85% of funds to refinance the completion of the Abuja-Kano and Port Harcourt-Maiduguri railway projects, according to a presidential spokesperson, Stanley Nwocha. President Xi Jinping met displeasure on Wednesday while responding to a request by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who Vice President Kasim Shettima represented at the ongoing Belt and Road Initiative Forum in Beijing. The development comes after the railway projects flagged off in 2021 stalled as China withdrew its funding. Let's find out more.
Its establishment in 2013, the BRI, which can be said to be the largest development undertaking in the world, has made giant strides in achieving groundbreaking contributions to world economic growth and development, especially in areas of infrastructure and people-to-people exchanges. Hence this year's theme, high-quality rail and road cooperation, together for common development and prosperity, could not have been more apt. These achievements are reflective of China's commitment to leveraging on the principles of cooperation and joint efforts towards achieving economic development for the common prosperity of developing economies. I also wish to note that BRI has been a major contributor to the implementation of the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Growth. Excellencies, on the topic digital economy as a new source of growth, you will agree with me that the world has been experiencing a whole new and improved dimension to global governance through digital technology. The digital economy has played an important role in accelerating global economic growth and recovery, as well as emplacement of mechanisms.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC) said the federal government paid 135.23 billion naira to subsidize electricity consumption in the second quarter of this year. The Commission stated this in its second quarter 2023 report. NEC said the federal government spent 135.2 billion naira to plug the revenue shortfall in the power sector during the period. This, according to the Commission, was 99.21 billion naira, an equivalent of 275% higher than the 36 billion naira the government paid in the first quarter. Still in Nigeria, power distribution failed to accept an average, or distributors rather failed to accept an average of 114.53 megawatts hour per hour of electricity in the second quarter of 2023, despite its low supply across the country, according to the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission (NEC). NEC disclosed this in its latest 2023 second quarter report, as it also revealed that the power distributors installed 178,864 new meters for consumers during the period. The Commission further stated that the complaints of power users rose by about 31%, adding that persistent mechanical faults and gas constraints reduced power generation in the second quarter of this year. All data from the regulator showed that all the 11 power distribution companies accepted less than their various contracted capacities. That's it on the Nigerian point of view. We'll go on a quick break. When we return, it will be global economic standings all around the world, and we'll get to talk about the details, especially for Australia. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It is Business 360 and my name is Blyden Oken. Now to global economic standings all around the world and the indications that comes with it, beginning with Australia's jobless rates. Australia's seasonally adjusted unemployment unexpectedly was at a 3-month low of 3.6% in September 2023, easing significantly from August figure and falling below market consensus of 3.7%. The number of unemployed individuals dropped by 19,800 to 520,500 as people looking for full-time jobs decreased by 19,700 to 338,300, while those seeking part-time jobs dropped by 100 to 182,200. At the same time, employment advanced by 6,700 to 14.11 million, less than market forecast of a 20,000 gain after a 63,300 increase in August, talking about by 39,900 to 9.81 million. The participation rate went down to 66.7% from last month's record at its high level of 67% below forecast of 67%. Meanwhile, the underemployment rate edged down to 6.4% from 6.5%. Additionally, monthly hours in all jobs dropped by 8 million, or 0.4%, to 1,000 or 1.93 million rather. It would be a good time to move to commodities and talk about the commodity market, beginning with agricultural commodities. The grain market has its indication as Virginia McGarvey standing by. Well, wheat price was steady on improved fundamentals today. Let's find out more from Virginia McGarvey.
Today in the grain market, soybeans were firm. Oilseed demand seems to be up right now. That NOPA data came out and said that the crush was up in August, as well as year over year, gave that market a little bit of a boost right now. Option open interest sold out 3,700 puts. That's pretty positive right now. CVOL is at 16.6%, with the oil at 31.5 and meal at 24.7. Corn was higher as well. Technicals are improving. The futures are solidly off that September low. Funds are a little bit short. If they start to cover, that will be the lift that the futures really need right now. December option open interest sold out 5,000 puts. That's all.
Improved standing from wheat prices based on fundamentals in the market. Let's move quickly to the agricultural commodities and see what the prices would be for wheat and soybeans this morning. And afterwards, we'll look at the energy market and the rest. The agricultural market. Well, agricultural market indicates the price of soybeans moving higher by 2.5 points this morning, a 0.19% appreciation, $1,313 US per bushel. Wheat price is also gaining at 2 points this morning, 0.36% appreciation. $582 per bushel is the price of wheat. The price of palm oil is downward by 55 points, negative 1.44%, and 3,755 Malaysian ringgit per ton is the price of palm oil. And now to the energy market, what the price of crude oil is this morning. The energy market have some negativity this morning. Our crude oil price, the US crude, $87 per barrel is the price, dropping 1.224 points, a negative 1.39% decline. For Brent, which is Nigeria's price benchmark, our current price is $89 per barrel, dropping 1.78 points this morning. The rest of the derivatives of crude oil, such as natural gas, gasoline, heating oil, are a little here, a little there. Let's quickly talk about the metals. What the metal market is saying this morning. The price of gold. Gold price gaining 2.66 points this morning. $1,950 per ounce is for gold. A 0.14% appreciation. Silver a little here, a little there, gaining slightly, 0.016 points. For copper price, or similar story, but the price of copper in the morning market is $3.59 per pound. And quite concerning there, looking at the price of steel dropping 19 points this morning, 3,623 Chinese yuan per ton. And that's the story. Iron ore, no significant difference. And for the market, industrial commodities, let's look at what the prices are. Bitumen, no significant change after recent falls and rise and falls for bitumen. 3,797 Chinese yuan per ton is the price. Cobalt, no significant difference in the market. List price, relatively not indicative in the market this morning, $2,117 per ton. Aluminium gaining 11.5 points, and tin price 178 points upward, $25,548 per ton. Let's talk about the markets, the forex market. Looking at insights from forex, since mid-July, the Australian dollar has lost 9% of its value against the US dollar. However, in the last few days, some things have changed, complicating the Australian dollar story. Let's find out more from Jim Laurier regarding this.
Posting near-term lows on October 13th, the Australian dollar had lost approximately 9% of its value against the US dollar since mid-July. Now, the reason for the move was that the dollar was rallying against all the world's currencies as the domestic narrative transitioned from the Fed may have to pivot soon to higher for longer. Now, something's changed in the last few days that has complicated the Australian dollar story. Now, since October 6th, gold has rallied over 0.5% in the wake of global and correlated to the price of gold has barely budged in a relative sense, gaining only 1% in the latest move.
Nice outings and observation from Jim Laurier. Let's move to the market and see what the prices would be for the euro against the US dollar, and afterwards Naira's perspective in the market this morning. The euro against the US dollar. The foreign exchange market indicates exchanges for these currency pairs, and the euro against the US dollar, it's at 1.05 point mark. No significant gain in the market, just a 0.09% appreciation for the euro over the dollar. The pounds to the dollar, it's at 1.21 point mark, a slight decline for the pound when competing against the dollar. Now let's look at Naira's perspective after Naira went through some struggles in recent times, especially when you look at the price of Naira moving forward, and it had been a disparity of 58 Naira from 848 price it was by Tuesday, but quite an improvement moving forward. At the exchange level this morning, the exchange price is 774 Naira, equaling $1 against the euro. A Naira's perspective would be 807 Naira to the euro, a decline for the euro in the morning market, or rather at the closure of yesterday's market at a negative 0.9 points. Also pounds against the Naira, current price is 931 Naira to the pound. Let's quickly move to the power market and see what the prices are for Naira against these majors. The dollar to Naira in the power market indicates price level of 1,100 at the buying rate for the Naira to the dollar, and 1,080 Naira equaling $1 at the selling rate. For the pounds to Naira, the price level at the buying rate is 1,323 Naira equaling £1, and selling rate 1,295 Naira equaling £1. The euro to Naira exchange level at the buying rate is 1,125 Naira to the euro, and 1,100 Naira to the euro at the selling rate. And quickly, let's look at the digital currencies, would be cryptocurrency market. The price of Bitcoin is upward after recent struggle, upward by 253 points this morning, a 0.9% appreciation. $28,512 is the price of Bitcoin. Ether is downward this morning by 8.2 points, a negative 0.52% decline. For Binance, it's 3.9 points increase, or rather decrease in the market. $208 is the price of Binance at a negative 1.84%. Let's talk about the equity markets. A global stock market fell this morning. While major bourses in Europe fell for a second straight session, tracking a global risk-off mood amid escalating tension in the Middle East and mixed earning reports. At the same time, government bond yield continued to rise. In Asia, major benchmark closed 2% lower, and in the US, stock futures also pointed to a cautious open. Quickly, let's look at the United States stock market and what the outings is, especially with alongside the European stock market has been hugely negative. US 500 downward by 1.36. US 30 stock market down slightly upward this morning. In Europe, amid the tension in Israel. Also, let's look at the state of things regarding the Asian stock market. What the Asian stock market says this morning, hugely negative. The tension in Israel is, in Palestine rather, the Gaza Strip, Israel attacking Palestine is causing some sort of tension in the market, and the stock market in Asia is on the negative. From Japan to Shanghai and China, Sensex also dropping 258 points this morning. And the African stock market should be of mixed fortune, but hugely negative also. The Nigerian stock market this morning dropping 9 points. The SA40 South African stock dropping 496 points this morning. The SA All also dropping 525 this morning. Egyptian stock market gaining 46, and Nairobi, the Kenyan stock market of mixed fortune. And quickly, let's look at the state of the Nigerian stock this morning and what it says this morning. Dangote Cements gaining 7 naira 90 kobo this morning. Bois Cements, no significant change in the market. Saplat Energy, no significant change in the market. And Zenith Bank on a weakness, but still gaining 55 kobo this morning. And here we draw the curtain in today's edition of Business 360. Thank you for being a part of it. My name is Blyden Ukem.